Okay, so I'm gonna be recording the stream. So if you guys are saying that you can hear me loud and clear, I'm gonna trust you. Video seems to be good too, so that's good. That's good. Yeah. So yeah, it's been a while. It's nice to see that there's at least some people who remember who I am. So thank you for stopping by the stream. Um, yeah, I got like a 4K camera set up over here. I just got this new microphone too. This new, literally just opened it like out of the box like an hour ago. Got like a little like a thing here for like monitoring everything. Um, but yeah, just let me know if there's any problems, and I'm gonna do my best to try to you know make this stream as quality as possible. So the plan is here. The plan here is that this is gonna be sort of like what I'm gonna call a philosophy stream. So I am a philosophy major, and in college, so I study political science and philosophy, and I really enjoy just like talking about it and just watching philosophy YouTube and really just like trying to, I guess, really think really hard about things unnecessarily. So yeah, I guess I just wanted to. I pretty much what I want to do is kind of just want to watch videos that I think would be really interesting, and then talk to you guys about it. We can talk about it, and then just go from there and just probably just yap. Yeah, I have completed my last exam. I actually do not know exactly what I did on my last exams, but I was actually very confident about them. You know what we're gonna do? You know what I want to do? I'm actually gonna let's see. We're gonna look at them together. Let's see what I got on my last exams. I don't think that there's anything here that I need to worry about you guys like seeing. So let's see what I did. Oh, well, that's not good. Yeah, I definitely can't show that. Wait, actually, no, I think I can. I think I can. Oh yeah, it's gonna make me do this thing. Yeah, never mind. I can't show you guys my last exam thing right now because I got to do like a sign in thing. But yeah. Exams are going good. If you guys have probably been watching me for a while, then you know that like I decided to go back to college after like a 3 year time skip. So I started out like not going to college at all, and then I decided I was going to be like working, and then I did YouTube for a while, and then I ultimately decided that I wanted to go to school. And what I found is that like all the videos on my channel, all me talking about like productivity, self improvement, and all this type of stuff has like seriously helped me by going back to school. Like I don't want to say that it's easy because I know that it's going to get harder as the years go on, but like this is just like going to school has just been like sort of like light work because I feel like I locked in all like the good habits of studying and reading and all this type of stuff. So it just made it a lot easier to sort of like get started. Um, oh, little plug here. Do any of you guys watch Twitch? Do you guys use Twitch? Because I'm streaming on YouTube because like that's where most of my audience is on YouTube. But I also want to stream on Twitch. So I actually am streaming on Twitch right now. So if you guys go to Twitch, I should be on. I should be live right now. Yeah, I'm live right now on Twitch. So if you guys want to go to Twitch and go to the Abraham Diop, it's the same handle I use for everything. Just go on Twitch and then just follow me on there. YouTube's leaving ads during live streams, like in the middle. Is it like in the middle, or is it like only when you open the stream? Because that sucks if it does it like in the middle of the stream. What's up, Kareem? Kareem, how you doing, bro? I'm doing good. I'm doing pretty good. I'm changing things up. I want to get into streaming and I want to start, just like posting more content for you guys. And what I feel like a good way to do that is to stream and get clips from the streams and kind of like post them to YouTube. That way, I'm just making something. Because what I found is that it's just very hard to what I find is that it's very hard to make content while I'm in school, focusing and things like that. I'm working a full time job right now too, so when if I make if I commit to streaming, it's an easier way to make content. It's much easier than just making like a YouTube video, because the videos that you guys have seen me on on my channel, whatever video that you may have found me from, that video probably took like 20 plus hours to make between ideation, script writing, filming, editing. Like it takes so long to make like high effort content where you're actually like like chopping it up and adding certain things. But streaming is a lot easier because you can just you know you can just sit down and just talk. YouTube better. Yeah, YouTube's good too. I'm probably gonna stream on both Twitch and YouTube. But I just want to be able to make more content for you guys. So I'm glad to see that there's that there's actually people that are like tuning in and watching right now, because that's great to see, and I'm hoping to grow that over time. So yeah, just if you guys have anything to say, just let me know. Just put it in the comments. From Czech, that's Czech, right? Czechia is that how you guys say Czech? Is that Czech, like Czech Republic, or is that like a completely different country? I'm sorry, I'm a little uneducated on that. I don't know. But thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I love seeing people from all over the world watching my content. So thank you. And remember, go follow me on Twitch. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, just throw it in the chat, and I'm gonna like get to it when I can get to it. And yeah. Yes, Czech Republic. Okay, got it. Yeah, I've actually spoken to a few people who follow me from Czech, because I used to do like the calls and stuff. But so here's the plan for today. So I have a lineup. Of videos. So I really like I was just saying, I really like philosophy type YouTube videos. But not just philosophy, just like entertaining. I love YouTube videos, right? Who doesn't? You guys ever heard of Cole Hastings? He makes like self-improvement videos, but also like documentary style like videos. So I wanted to like react to one of his videos here. He has this video called "Why Gen Z Will Start the Next Revolution." What are we thinking about that? I think I want to watch it. So we're gonna throw that on, and then we're just gonna get right into it. Sound good? All right, sounds good. Let me know if you guys can hear the video, by the way. Like, just say like yes or no if you guys can actually hear the video good.
A commencement speech at the University of Florida went mega viral. In the speech, Gloria Caulfield, vice president of a notoriously ill-received development company, expresses her thoughts on the future of AI.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next...
Let me know if you guys can hear it. And no, not risky. It just if I post this as a video, it'll get like probably copyrighted, and it'll take like the content for it, but like it's still like it's fine. Like that's what happens, and then the video usually still stays up. Yeah, all good. All right, sounds good. All right, we're just gonna start from the top. I'm gonna try not to overly yap since it is a 17-minute video. Millennial is just faster. Yeah.
Last week, a commencement speech at the University of Florida went mega viral. In the speech, Gloria Caulfield, vice president of a notoriously ill-received development company, expresses her thoughts on the future of AI.
The rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that when you're trying to like nobody from Gen Z likes AI. Like, is that like a common thing? Like, I feel like I don't know anybody like our age that like genuinely really likes the way that AI is going. I think that it's weird because a lot of us seem to use it, but it seems like most people, if you ask them their genuine opinion on AI, everyone's pretty against it. Whether it's like for art, like AI stealing art or like replacing people, or it's like AI, reducing our cognitive function, right? Like making it so that we don't have to like think as hard. Or it's like maybe if you're in school and you're actually putting an effort for something, and then your teacher thinks you're using AI, or you put an effort for something and then your people are using AI, so you're getting the same grade as someone who might have been using AI. So yeah, and yeah, AI slop content for me, that's like the biggest one. It's like I can't tell when something is AI or not. Like sometimes, that's not true. I would say that I can tell when something's AI or not, but it's more so when I see something that is most likely real, I still question if it's AI, and that's the scary part. Because like I hate having to go through life thinking, oh, this is AI. Like I'll listen to a YouTube video and I'll be like, oh, like this script, it sounds very AI, but I don't know. Like I'm just thinking it sounds like AI, but I don't know if it's my brain telling me that or if I'm actually picking up on it. So yeah, Gus says she has a point though. I don't think everyone liked the Industrial Revolution too. Yeah. I was thinking that at the start. I remember I used to say that like 2 years ago, back in like 2020. was like 2024, like when I first like heard about AI and I first like tried ChatGPT for the first time. I was like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. And I saw people like complaining about it, and I was thinking, oh, like this might actually be really cool. But I wasn't really aware of the dangers yet. It wasn't until later on that I realized like how bad it was. But I remember thinking like the people who are against it, like people were against the Industrial Revolution too. But the reason why people were against the Industrial Revolution is because, number one, people don't like change, but number two, it was replacing a lot of people's jobs. Where it's like now, where before it was like 100 men could build something, and then now it only takes 10 men to build the same amount of things using 10 machines or whatever, however many machines that they use. So it's like, I understand why people didn't like the Industrial Revolution, but people also don't like change. But I feel like AI is something that's a little bit. This is something else. Like this is more than just people just not liking AI and not wanting change. It goes a lot deeper than that because there are some serious problems. Okay, let me stop yapping.
What happened? Okay, I struck a chord. Only a few years ago, AI was not a factor in our lives.
There have been few pieces of content that have given me as much hope for the future as this did. To see a chorus of graduates erupting into a symphony of boos directed at the vice president of a company who's destroying the environment, it's enough to make a grown man cry. It's extremely telling of the time we live in and the disconnect many older adults seem to have from what younger people actually value. It's no secret that Gen Z has a nihilism problem. We're constantly labeled as the most depressed, anxious, hopeless generation in history. But what if that isn't the entire story? What if Gen Z, precisely because they have lived through economic instability, social media addiction, AI disruption, and institutional distrust, is on the precipice of creating another golden age of prosperity, culture, and art? I think that commencement speech is evidence of something bigger, and to explain why, I want to talk about one of the central themes of one of my favorite stories of all time, Berserk. One of the ideas Berserk explores better than almost any story I've encountered is causality. Causality is the relationship between cause and effect, where one event directly contributes to...
Just so you know, my monitor is sitting on a giant Berserk book like right now. I actually haven't finished it. Side note, I have not finished Berserk. It's not as good to me as everyone makes it out to be. I'm more of a Vinland Saga fan personally, as you can see right here. I'm more of a Vinland Saga type of guy. But Berserk is kind of cool. Okay, side rant.
Another. In one of the later chapters, a mage by the name of Flora explains it like this: causality is not a circle, but rather a spiral. In Berserk, many events happen that are similar to that universe's past, but they express themselves a little differently in the present. In many ways, the main character, Guts, is the embodiment of someone fighting against a predetermined fate, someone constantly struggling against the spiral itself. There's definitely a lesson in there regarding the fight to overcome one's difficult circumstances, but what I actually want to focus on is the whole spiral idea. You might have heard the quote attributed to Mark Twain, "History does not repeat itself, but it often rhymes." It's almost perfectly analogous to Flora's idea, and I think we can translate it into this quote: "History is not a circle, but rather a spiral." In other words, history has shown us that we consistently alternate between prosperous and impoverished times, and neither lasts forever. But the most important thing to understand is that the prosperous times are almost always built by the people who lived through the impoverished ones. To make this idea stick, let's look at some periods of history where this was the case and tie it back to Gen Z. One of the clearest examples of this is the transition from the Gilded Age into the Progressive Era. The Gilded Age, which lasted roughly from the 1870s into the early 1900s, was one of the most explosive...
Yeah, this is exactly what we were just talking about. It's like the Industrial Revolution. Like people are always adverse to change. You know what I mean? And that leads people to just sticking with the same thing over and over again. Everyone wants to live like completely comfortable lives, whether that's like just the things we do on a day-to-day basis, or if it's just like the way that the world is going. It's kind of like political warning. It's kind of like the idea of like conservatism, conservative. You know, like conservative, like ideology, not just like completely like political, like, you know, like just like Republican. It goes deeper than that. It's just like the idea of like just like maintaining like the old way of life, or like the original way of life. where like a lot of conservative ideology is sort of looking back on an era that is essentially gone. It's anti-modernism basically. It's like I don't like what's happening right now. Therefore, I must go back in time and go and do things how they used to be done. Like that's sort of the mindset, and whether that thing is truly good or not doesn't matter because it's different from what's happening now. Right now is bad. Right now, earlier, what happened before must be better. Therefore, let's go back to how things were before. That's sort of like the mindset. And I'm not saying everyone who's conservative sort of thinks like that, but that is a lot of the logic that kind of goes with conservatism, where we look back on, like, at least in America, we look back, you hear people talking about how good things were in the 1950s and the 1960s. And that's only for like a couple of reasons, mainly just like like how inflation was back then and how, the affordability of like everything. But like, it's also so like in because of those specific things, like how the economy was back then and all that, people say that like the 50s were better, and they were better for some people. But what they do is that they take other ideas that were popular back then and then they bring it into the present moment and then try to say that like this is the way things need to be done, when it's like in reality that was actually terrible for like most people back then, where it's like people in my family, my grandfather lived through segregation, in the 50s and 60s. So like some people had the time of their lives in their 50s and 60s. My grandfather was like growing up in literally segregated towns, right? So it's like obviously not everyone dealt with it the same way. Women couldn't, what's it called? Women couldn't do a lot of things back then either. Like I think that women couldn't buy their own home like without signing on with a man until a certain point. I think women couldn't do a lot of things without being like legally married. I think that was like a requirement. Yeah. Yeah. I think that does apply to a lot of people. That's what I mean. Is that like some of the old ways may have better arguments, but what a lot of people do is they just ignore the argument for the modern thing because they think it's bad, and then just automatically assume that the old thing is better. When I think in some cases that can be true, but I don't think it's as much as everyone likes to make it seem. Where it's like again, I'll bring up the 1950s example. The 50s and 60s were the golden age of America for like a small amount of people, like a small amount, not a small amount of people, actually a decently large amount of people, but not for any sort of minority or woman for that matter, right? So it's like that's not a really good, that era is not a good example for us to pull from when we want to talk about like, bettering the future for ourselves. That's what I mean.
Of periods of economic growth in American history. It saw a huge expansion in railroad construction, steel production, and oil empires. On paper, the country was becoming richer and more technologically advanced. But beneath all that progress was a society of average people getting juiced by monopolies, brutal labor conditions, political corruption, and extreme inequality. During the Gilded Age, wealth concentration was absurd. Thomas Piketty's historical data shows the top 10% of wealth holders owned around 80% of total wealth in 1910. Other historians debate the exact numbers, but almost no one disputes the larger reality. America's industrial boom created extraordinary wealth and accumulated that wealth into the hands of a very small class of industrialists. And what did those industrialists want? The same thing that rich people in power want today. They wanted young people to work the really cheap, awful jobs. Approximately 40% of industrial laborers in the 1880s earned below the poverty line of $500 a year. In 1890, more than 18% of children between the ages of 10 and 15 were employed in the United States. In southern textile mills, the numbers were especially grim. In 1900, 25,000 of the nearly 100,000 textile workers in the South were children under 6.
Yeah, see, that's like terrible. That's terrible. Like that's why people didn't like the Industrial Revolution, right? It's like because 25,000, literally a fourth of the people working were children. We're under 16, right? Like that's terrible. Like conditions were terrible. A lot of people were losing arms and legs and dying. It was bad. Like it was like the Industrial Revolution. It's weird because like we look at things getting more advanced as like progress, but I don't know if like I don't know, I don't know. I hear this example a lot when people talk about how like war brings about progress. They say that, like, I don't know, World War II like led to a lot of advancements in the medical industry, and also in like the you know, the car industry, like the auto industry, like in everything. Like every single major war that we've had in the last like 2 centuries has brought like crazy technological advancements to like all of humanity, right? But like a lot of them were kind of bad. Like like I don't know, nuclear warfare, for example. Like that was an example of a technological advancement that happened in the last world war that was like really bad, you know. And then it's like on the same time, in that same era, we had uh, the invention of like a lot of what is a good example of like something like a medical. There were like a lot. I know that there was like a lot of like medical advancements during that time, from like, you know, the Holocaust and like the experiments that were done. Like some of them actually like furthered medicine and things like that. Um, it's all, I don't know. It's all kind of like, it's like kind of up in the air.
That's the part of the Gilded Age people often sanitize. We remember all these great inventions and the captains of their industry like J.P. Morgan or Andrew Carnegie, but behind all that wealth that was concentrated to a small few were children and young workers quite literally being fed to the machine. But that's exactly where the spiral began to turn, because the people who came of age in that world eventually became the ones who challenged it and changed it for the better. Ida Tarbell is one of the best examples of this. She was born in 1857 and grew up in Pennsylvania oil country. Her father worked in the oil business and suffered under the tactics of Standard Oil. Decades later, Tarbell turned that personal history into one of the most important pieces of investigative journalism in American history, the history of the Standard Oil Company. Her reporting exposed Rockefeller's business practices and helped build public pressure against monopoly power. The same pattern appears with Jane Addams, born in 1860, who later co-founded Hull House in Chicago in 1889, which I've discussed in a previous video. The Hull House provided childcare, education, cultural training, and practical support for immigrant and working-class communities. Addams became one of the central figures of progressive-era reform, advocating for social welfare, labor protections, women's suffrage, and peace. And then there was Theodore Roosevelt, who, despite being born into privilege, understood that the country could not survive if corporations became more powerful than the government itself. In 1904, the Supreme Court sided with Roosevelt's administration in the Northern Securities case, breaking up a railroad holding company that controlled major lines across the Northwest. And this is where we can start to see the parallels with today. The Gilded Age was a period where new technology and new industries created new forms of wealth, like railroads, oil, and steel, faster than society could morally process them. And today, we have algorithms, artificial intelligence, social media platforms, data harvesting, cloud infrastructure, and tech monopolies. They were different tools, but they were in the same area of the spiral. Back then, society had to ask, how much power should railroad companies, oil companies, and factory owners have over ordinary life? Today, we're asking, how much should AI companies, social media platforms, and trillion-dollar tech firms have over culture, attention, creativity, and truth itself? And the hopeful part is that the Gilded Age did not last forever, because eventually, people like I just talked about ushered in what we now refer to as the Progressive Era. The Progressive Era brought antitrust enforcement, food and drug regulation, labor reform, muckraking journalism, settlement houses, and new ideas about what government owed to ordinary people. The frustrations of one era created the reform energy of the next. That is the spiral. And we can see the same pattern in a form not all too different in later decades with the Lost Generation. After World War I, young people were not exactly optimistic about the future. It's almost impossible to overstate the psychological devastation of that period. World War I killed an estimated 16 million people. Then, before the world could even process that trauma, the 1918 influenza pandemic swept across the globe and killed an estimated 50 million more. 1/5 of the world's population was infected.
Crazy. That's absolutely insane. That's World War I was so bad. It was so terrible. It's like it's hard to look at that and say that like that was like the technological advancements that were made during that time were like a positive on humanity, when like so many people died and so many people suffered, and then World War I ended up leading towards World War II, which killed even more people. Like it's hard to look at something like that and see it as like a positive.
And unlike many diseases, the 1918 flu was especially brutal because it killed large numbers of otherwise healthy young adults. Now imagine being young in that moment. You grow up believing in progress, civilization, duty, patriotism, religion, and all the other grand narratives that were supposed to give life meaning. Then you watch Europe turn into a slaughterhouse. You watch technology, supposedly the great symbol of human advancement, become a machine for mass death through tanks, machine guns, poison gas, artillery, and airplanes dropping bombs from the sky. Then, right as the war ends, a pandemic arrives and kills millions more. This is why the phrase lost generation became prominent. Novelist Gertrude Stein is credited with telling author Ernest Hemingway, "You are all a lost generation," referring to the young people who had served in the war. Hemingway later popularized the phrase by using it as an epigraph in The Sun Also Rises. What's fascinating is how similar the accusations sound to how young people are described today. While they were called the lost generation, we are called nihilistic. But what happened after the lost generation grew up? One of the greatest cultural explosions in the world, the Roaring Twenties. Now, to be fair, the 1920s weren't perfect. Though EH.net reports that real GNP grew about 4.2% per year from 1920 to 1929, there was still a ton of inequality, racial violence, and instability. But culturally, the decade was electric. We had incredible works in literature, jazz, film, fashion, and consumer culture. This was the world a necessary stage. Yes, we do now have tons of data showing that these traits of nihilism have been rising in young people and have been steadily rising for decades.
What do y'all think is like the cause of that? Like young people, like in the last like 20, 25 years, like pretty much like Gen Z. The video is louder than me. Yeah, it's wait, actually, hold up. You know, my thing is set pretty high already. Yeah, I think that's as much as I can make it like right now without like messing things up on stream. So I'll have to do that. But as long as you guys can hear me like good enough, then I'll work with that for now. But I'll look back on the recording and try to fix that. That's why I got to try to like pause the video and talk, because I know that if I try to talk with the video playing, then it won't really work. What was I saying? Yeah. What do you guys think is like the cause of young people's mental illness? I feel like social media is a big part. A lot of people blame it on social media, but like I have done that in my past videos too, and I genuinely think that it doesn't help. Like whether it's like just doom scrolling itself, excuse me, which is just like a bad habit, or it's just like the things you see on social media, where I think it's like the constant comparison. Most people tell me that the biggest problems they have is just wasting time on their phone, and also just the constant comparison with other people. Those are like the two biggest things that I hear like my viewers like talking about, and saying is like a problem. And it's weird because I feel like I don't know. I would say that for me it's more of like wasting time. When I had bad mental health, and if in a moment where I have bad mental health, then going on social media and like seeing someone like doing better than me, that doesn't really get to me, because I know that like it's just like, you know, social media is just like sort of like a highlight reel of people's lives, that people aren't going to show their lows very often. But I feel like social media, it's just easy. Like it's so easy to just scroll social media. That's a big problem for me. It's so easy to do that. Not only that, if there's something that you want to do, it's something that I want to do, I can get obsessed with it very quickly. I probably watched like a million videos about I've probably seen like a million like streamers, you know, like watch their like videos before trying to stream myself, as an example, right? And it's like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I keep on saying I want to do this. Let me just start doing it, you know? But it's like you can get stuck in that trap of like just like watching other people do the thing that you want to do. And I feel like, I wouldn't go as far as to say that that'll have like a negative on your mental health, but it'll definitely make you feel bad about, it could definitely make you feel like bad about not doing the thing you said you were going to do. It's like making a promise to yourself and just not fulfilling on that promise. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, I've also seen a noticeable trend in the creation of hopecore content. If you aren't familiar with it, hopecore usually involves an inspiring message and absurdist visuals paired with glitter, nature, and serene music. Content like this plays with the short-form environment and the absurd, often hard-to-find meaning world we live in, generating something unique and hopeful among the absurdity of our times. Hopecore is the embodiment of a generation born on the internet, from the early days of exploration and experimentation to the recent era of enshittification, and an act of rebellion against the algorithm's desire to make everything sterile, monotonous, and polarizing. It implants the idea that things truly can and will get better, and we're starting to see this trend proliferate through pop culture too. One obvious case is the success of the movie Project Hail Mary. The entire movie is basically existential hopecore. It features Ryan Gosling as a teacher-turned-astronaut who has to interact with a friendly alien from another planet in order to save Earth. I went to see it in IMAX when it came out, and it was just straight-up good vibes. It was a sign of times to come, I think. There's a reason why, in an era where Hollywood and theater struggle, this movie achieved unpredictable success. It's because people are done with the cynicism and nihilism of the modern world that plagues most of the news and media, and they want more pieces of art that remind them why life is worth fighting for. And honestly, that's part of the reason why I wrote my upcoming debut novel. It's not something I've really brought up in my long-form videos, but if you've been following my short-form videos, you know that I've been writing a novel for over 500 days now, and I'm proud to say that the final manuscript is finally done and pre-orders are available. Echoes Across Infinity is about a 21-year-old named Elliot who lives as a parallel version of yourself that you can check it out because I'm just so proud of it. But let's revisit those stats I was talking about earlier. If we look at all these graphs, the time when reports of depression, anxiety, and self-harm all
145% increase since 2010. That is so bad. That is so bad. That was right around the time that everyone started getting mobile phones, though. Right? Like that was around the time that everybody started carrying, like, you know, like whether there was like a Nokia or like one of those like not Nokia, like a flip phone, you know what I mean? Like not a flip phone. What am I talking about? Those Blackberries. Could you have like social media on a Blackberry? I remember like my sisters having them like when I was a kid. I never had a Blackberry, but I remember they were always on them. But yeah, Facebook was getting popular. Twitter existed around that time or a couple years after that. So I don't know. I don't want to say like correlation is causation, but like I don't know. I mean, what else is it? Like what else could it possibly be that made depression increase that much in that time, right? Because right around 2012 is where it just like seemed to just like skyrocket like crazy, you know. Yeah, that's not good. Pear-shaped phone. They actually made those, like the ones from like it did have social media. Yeah. A pear-shaped phone like Victorious or iCarly. Y'all remember iCarly?
Shut up. They all begin around 2012, and they all paint a grim picture. I am not here to deny this reality. Yes, there are more ways we can label these conditions, but forces like social media, wealth inequality, and an unstable job market undoubtedly are genuine concerns. But when I look at these graphs, a question glues itself in my mind. How much farther can these keep increasing until something breaks? It sounds wrong to say, but this trend just cannot simply go on forever. Human beings can only live inside unbearable conditions for so long before they start searching for a way out. At a certain point, people either become numb to the pain, they redefine it as normal, or they start revolting. And I don't think we're seeing a lot of numbness. I think we are starting to see the revolt. When humans are backed into a small enough corner.
Hard agree. I've been seeing more people care about just like anything more often now than I have in like the past like couple of years. Like something is gonna happen. Like I met more people who like are like interested in politics or just like interested in like self-improvement or, you know, going to the gym, just anything to like get out of this like sort of like haze that we've been in. I feel like since COVID especially, there's been sort of like a haze that everyone's been in, like in our generation in Gen Z, and everyone just wants to get out of it. Like we want to do something just to get out of it, just to get out and like cut out the noise, you know, whether that's like whether that's like getting involved in politics, getting involved in like local things, you know, going to No Kings protests. I've had multiple people like ask me if I want to like go to one of these things. I haven't had the opportunity to go to anything like this, but yeah, things are definitely happening. And you know, people, whether that's people trying to get off social media, like people who watch my videos, right? Like they want to get off social media or take a break from it. Yeah, I feel like there's definitely something happening here.
one that suffocates them to the point where almost nothing feels fulfilling, it is impossible that a good chunk of them would not eventually begin fighting for better conditions. It is impossible that they wouldn't start booing elites advocating for AI and boycotting these companies to the point where they start shutting parts of them down. And that is what we are seeing today. At the same time, all of these tragedies are being pushed to the forefront of our awareness, which social media is psychologically engineered to do. Real art, human ingenuity, and hopecore is blossoming through the cracks. A group of my internet friends who run a film company were able to get their indie film into theaters across the entire country, voted on by real people because there's a real demand to get more creators and filmmakers from the internet into theaters. Even the Backrooms movie, produced by A24, was directed by the YouTuber who made the original Backrooms series. Books are seeing a huge resurgence in sales, and although Book Talk is driving a lot of that traffic, it's clear that people are looking for healthier ways to spend their free time, ways that actually enrich their minds rather than drain them. And I'm gonna be honest, when I actually engage with Gen Z, my generation, in real life, a lot of them are really quite hopeful for the future. We've lived in a world where everything has been exposed, all the lies and the greed and corruption, and we have the power to make our voices heard at a level that was unthinkable even just a few decades ago. And I believe the voices making a real difference, the ones who are promoting the change we want to see, will always be heard and acted upon more than the comments about the despair and hopelessness that's plaguing our modern world. That's where this spiral is headed. It's headed to a place where we can look back and think to ourselves, man, I'm really fucking glad that I decided to fight back against addictive algorithms, energy hoarding data centers, loneliness, employment uncertainty, and the rise of artificial intelligence, and actually push towards missions that brought forth this future. The indomitable human spirit will never waver. The bad never wins in the end. Get involved in your community, volunteer, smile at people as you walk by, immerse yourself in classical and contemporary literature, feed your mind greatness through different forms of media, do something for someone else without expecting anything in return.
Holy stock video.
Keep rebelling against all the forces trying to keep you complacent and make you feel like you can't make a lasting difference in the world, because you can. We have been here before, and we will become the cultural movers of the next decades.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that, like, he was kind of saying what I was saying before I started, before I paused him. Like, this generation wants to see change, and we're going to be, like this is the generation that's going to actually, like make things happen. You know what I mean? That's like, kind of corny as it sounds, and as corny as, like, it kind of sounds, when he's like, like, we're going to make things happen. Like, it's true. Like, people are getting out and getting involved more often than I feel like previous generations are, and we actually want to see things happen. I think about, like, the social media type thing. Like, so many people are like I was surprised to see how much of a community I can build around, like, trying to develop, like, a better relationship with technology, because it's something that plagues so many people. And even when I meet people at school who haven't seen my channel or anything, like, they tell me, like, oh yeah, like, they'll casually tell me, like, before even knowing, they're like, oh yeah, like, I feel like I spend too much time on my phone. I'm like, really? Yeah. Like, I think most people probably spend too much time on their phone. Like, people genuinely think it's a problem that they have to overcome. And it's more than just obviously being phone addicted. It's just, like, again, like, the state of the world, where it's like everyone's feeling the effects of the economy right now. Like, everything is expensive. Gas is like, I have to pay like $50 to fill up my tank nowadays, So yeah, I think we're definitely gonna see more and more people caring, and things actually change. We can only deal with it for so long. It's like a bubble that just kind of, like, it's eventually gonna burst. It can't just keep on going and going and going and get worse and worse and worse. Which sucks because which sucks because that means that things are gonna continue to get really, really bad, and then they're gonna get thanks. Yeah, no problem, Nate. No problem. My bad, bro. My bad. I know you called me. I know. I'm sorry. I was busy. Setting up the stream. Okay, I got a new setup over here that I'm trying to put together. Forgive me. But yeah, all right. Good video though. Good video. Cole Hastings was, like, one of the first people that I watched, like, back when I was, like, super big into self-improvement. He was, like, one of the first guys I, like, came across, and he had so many bangers. And I feel like he kind of fell off for a little while. Yeah, I'm not subbed to him. Yeah, see, like, I feel like he fell off for a little while. And I didn't really like his videos, and then he started just coming back with, like, a bunch of bangers again. Yeah. But, all right. It's good video, good video. We're going to move on to the next. The next video that I wanted to watch is actually not a philosophy at all. It's actually this video called I Asked 100 People Their Most Controversial Opinion. And I thought it would be an interesting watch because I love talking about controversial opinions. And I feel like, hey, thanks, bro. I'll see you. Thanks for stopping in. I'll have to call you back soon. Yeah, if you guys don't know, that's my boy Nate. He's a streamer, YouTuber, man of God, all the above. Great guy. He can do backflips. Yeah, you should go follow him. So yeah, I asked 100 people their most controversial opinion. We're gonna watch that video. What are you guys' most controversial opinions? I feel like it's like really hard for me to like choose like one because I feel like I just have a lot of outrageous takes. Some of that I don't even think I can say here comfortably. So we're gonna watch these other people's most controversial opinions.
Is your most controversial opinion?
I think I would date a rapist.
What? I'm about to ask 100 random people for their most controversial opinion. And after we get 100, I'll be asking 100.
Starting off a little heavy there, don't you think? Starting off a little heavy.
100 different people to vote on which one is the most controversial.
This is insane.
Oh my God.
Let's start asking.
First of all, you can't change your gender. Why are we being gaslit into thinking that's a thing? That's not a thing. If you want to be a guy and you want to wear lipstick, if you want to wear high heels, that's cool. Do it. But you can't go get surgery and then just say you're a girl.
Taylor Swift is not talented.
Okay, so I'm not gonna stop on every single take, but like the ones that I have something to say, I'm gonna say something. I think that he's misunderstanding the idea of what people who are transgender are actually going for. Where it's like bro, why does everyone I know stopping in here saying stuff? Don't start spamming leche, bro. Milkman Mon over here, Milkman Mon in the stream. Everybody say hello to Shimon Davis, the legend. Maybe we should react to a Shimon Davis video next. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Thank you for stopping by, Shimon. We're watching videos about people's hot takes. The talking guy, I know the talking guy. Yeah, all he does is yap. Serial yapper. No, but what was I saying? The thing about here's the thing about gender is that like I think the idea that those people are trying to go for is that gender is a social construct and you don't have to fit into whatever that social construct is, and then sex is like a whole different conversation. I think that guy is like completely misunderstanding like what it actually is, but I feel like his take could be better if he actually understood it. Love you too, man. Thank you for stopping by. I'm sorry I didn't get back to your call. I know you called me. I never got back to you. I'm sorry, dude. I've been so busy with finals. But I'm gonna have to call you back. I'm gonna have to get back to you sometime soon. So thank you for coming in. Appreciate the support. Milkman Mon.
Overrated.
Why do you think she's overrated?
Her singing is
Girl.
Taylor Swift is not talented. Very overrated.
Why do you think she's overrated?
Her singing is meh. She can't dance and her music tastes like unseasoned food.
Unseasoned food.
Yeah. A&W.
I only know like one Taylor Swift song, like that one where it's like I'm feeling 22. I feel like I actually probably know more Taylor Swift songs. I just don't know that they're Taylor Swift, so I don't really have an opinion on her.
It's a really bad fast food restaurant.
I believe in every conspiracy theory about the government.
On hers, I'll say yes. I think it's naive to think we're the only ones out here.
So aliens are real.
Yes.
I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl this year.
I don't believe in aliens. Is that a hot take? Is that a hot take to not believe in aliens? I feel like nowadays it's more of a hot take to say you don't believe in aliens than to say that you believe in aliens. Like I don't really think that saying I believe in aliens is a controversial opinion. I feel like I get more slack when I tell people that I don't believe in aliens. And the reason why I don't believe in aliens is because I don't have any reason to believe in them. I feel like any idea, I think that at the very most, aliens exist and we have not made contact with them in any way, and they have not made contact with us. We don't know they exist and they don't know we exist. That's at the very best. At the very worst, they don't exist and everyone just making everything up. I don't really think there's anything in between. It's just either they truly don't exist or they do exist and every idea that we have about aliens is just untrue. Like it's just wrong. Like we don't actually know. Don't really care if they exist. I wouldn't say that I don't really care if they exist. It's just not like the most interesting conversation to me. Like I don't really, like I'm not really that, like the likelihood of in my lifetime aliens visiting Earth, if they really did exist, is like so low that it's just not even worth. It's just I don't even feel like it's worth my time to talk about, if that makes sense. What do you mean you don't care if they? Because like if they did exist, I would like to know. You know what I mean? Like that would be interesting. But yeah.
Had a top 5 offense last year. We brought back George Pickens on the franchise tag.
I'll be honest, I didn't really listen to what you said. I was just lost in your voice.
Really appreciate that. Just made my day. I've been
Really?
The voice and the face for radio.
Definitely have the voice. Yeah.
If you're dating a man and there's a woman harassing him, calling his phone 24/7, it's his fault, not hers. Like women aren't crazy like that.
He's making her crazy.
Yes.
My controversial opinion is I feel like sex work is very glamorized and young girls shouldn't look up to that.
I don't like weddings. We've turned it into this whole.
Yeah, no, I don't really think those are like hot takes. I think those are pretty normal takes, pretty cold takes. I think that the first girl, when she's saying like if a girl's like blowing up a guy's phone, like I think that it's probably both. Like both people in the relationship are probably a little bit crazy. But I would say that the guys, if someone's blowing up your phone like crazy, you might be a little bit of a manipulator, I will say.
Money grab.
ABBA is terrible.
Transsexual women are not real women.
There should be laws for walking on the sidewalk, as there is.
I'm sorry, I keep pausing, but why does everybody seems to have a stance on like transgenderism? Like everyone seems to have a stance. Why is that like one issue that everybody seems to have something to input? Where it's like a lot of conversations, like Gus can just say like I don't really care if aliens exist or not, whatever. You know, like just be like, it doesn't matter. But like as soon as like you mention like transgender people, it's like everyone has something to input, whether it's positive or negative. Like everyone has something to input. Is that weird? Is that weird to you guys? And it's weird because if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure that like doesn't like the LGBT community make up like 5% of the United States population? And like I think that transgender people make up like a small percentage of that 5%. So it's an issue that relates to such a small amount of people, so few people, but everyone seems to have an opinion on it. Why is that? Like, I can understand if it was like an issue that was affecting everyone in the daily life, like, oh, like, what is your opinion on Donald Trump, right? It's like that would be something that I would expect everyone over the age of 18 or even younger than that to have an opinion on because it's politics that actually affects us. But it's like something like transgenderism. I'm not saying that people shouldn't care about it, but I just find it interesting that such a relatively minute issue has so much controversy around it.
Driving on the road.
They're walking too slow.
You're supposed to walk on the right side. There should be a good flow going on.
I think like some places don't offer enough mat leave.
AI being used for art is ruining art as a whole.
One of my controversial opinions is that I freaking love fedoras.
People are very sensitive nowadays, like being.
Ooh, that's a controversial one. It's really, really hard to make a fedora look good. It's really hard to make a fedora look good. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I rarely ever see somebody wearing a fedora that like actually is wearing an outfit that pairs well with said fedora. I respect it. I respect anyone wearing anything that they want. And I think when I see a guy, you know, rocking a fedora, I'm just like, you know what? You go, man. You got that. You're wearing that. You put that on. You know, like, I respect it. But it doesn't look nice, if we're being honest. It's made for bald people? Yeah. But isn't any hat made for bald people? I don't even think it looks good on most bald people. I think Howie Mandel, is that his name? Yeah, Howie Mandel wears a good fedora. He's bald. I think that guy can wear a fedora pretty good. But he's got like the glasses. He's kind of got like the hipster look. So you can kind of make that work. But not everyone can wear a fedora.
Scared to share your opinion because you're scared of getting canceled?
What is your most controversial opinion?
I think I would date a rapist.
Bomba clot wallahi.
I don't think it's that bad. You know, people could change. And if he says that he's changed, then I could forgive him and then we could be in love forever. Don't you agree? People could change, right?
I agree, people can change.
That's how I would date a rapist.
Why don't you just date someone who's not?
No, I could do that too, but like...
I think she's trolling. I don't think she actually believes this. You can tell because she's like about a great character. She doesn't actually believe this.
Like, if he tells me that he raped somebody, like later...
Hold on a second. Hello. Hi.
on and I liked him. Like, of course I'm gonna be devastated, but then like he isn't dating anybody anymore because he stopped and he's dating me now. But I wouldn't mind dating everybody.
I don't like Drake when he's acting tough.
Why do you think he tries to act tough?
And I think it's just the idea that you're selling an image to people, both the people in the culture and the people outside the culture.
Time loops in movies are bullshit. So for example, in Interstellar, him being able to affect his own past from the future doesn't make any sense.
What about
mine is that time loops are fine.
And you?
I think there's a middle ground and there's some constraints that have to be respected.
All of us should feel pain, and the more pain, the better, because that's how we grow as people.
Not talking about political opinions when you're like in a friendship.
So you think in a friend group you should keep your political opinion to yourself?
Yeah. Dogs shouldn't be able to just go on public.
Hard disagree there. Hard disagree. I thought, I don't know. Bro didn't watch AOT. Hold on a second. Wait, I missed
Talking about.
Where was the AOT?
And you?
I think there's a middle ground and
time loops are to affect his own past from the future doesn't make any sense. So for example, in Interstellar, him being able to affect his own past from the future doesn't make any sense.
What about
mine is that time loops are fine.
Oh, is that the AOT thing? Is he saying that like AOT didn't make any sense because of, like the time loops thing, like the way it affects things? That's a dumb conversation because it's fictional. Like time travel doesn't exist in real life, and neither do giant monsters. So it's just like saying that like that doesn't make any sense. It's just like stupid because it's not supposed to follow human logic anyways.
And you?
I think there's a middle ground and there's some
we grow as people.
Not talking about political opinions when you're like in a friendship.
So back to this one. I think that's a bad take. I think that you can talk about your political opinions and you can be civil about it and you can try to like, come to an understanding or just like agree to disagree. But there's a level to it, right? Where it's like, I don't know. This last semester, for example, I've met a lot of people like at college and I'll just be sitting with them. We're just chilling. And then they'll just say like the most outrageous take I've ever heard. Like they'll say like, I don't know. They'll say like, I'm not even gonna say it because I don't want it to get like I don't want my stream to get taken down. Like it's just like they'll say like very like anti-Semitic stuff, but like not even just like it's like worse than like on a joking level. It's like very anti-Semitic, and I'm just like ooh, like yikes, like and it's like, or it's like they'll make jokes. They're not like jokes, but just like they'll just like say things about people who she's probably very sensitive when it comes to that individual person is she's probably very sensitive when it comes to politics and she probably doesn't care about it like that's the thing. I feel like people who say that you can be friends with someone who has a very very completely different political opinion than you are people who don't really care about politics. Like those are people who say that, or people who just don't really care about it that much. But I feel like the more people care about it, the more they don't want to be friends with those people. And I'm more on the side of like, yeah, like I don't really think I could be friends with somebody who like, I don't know, who believes that certain things should be like, I have stances on like, I don't know, like ICE, right? Where it's like the stuff that happened like earlier this year and even, continuing into now, like the stuff with ICE, like I don't agree with. Like I'm gonna be honest, I don't agree with it. I think that the way that they're going about it is very, very wrong and immoral. And I think there's a lot of data to support that I'm not get into in this video, in this stream, right? But it's like I don't know if I can get like really close. Like I can talk to people, like I can be cool with people who like have a different opinion than me on that, you know. But it's like I wouldn't want to be best friends with a person who like thinks that is okay, like that like they don't see any problem with that. Family or close friend, yeah. I mean, I feel like people in your family like generally agree with you when it comes to politics. But I know a lot of people come from like families where like they just don't agree with the same politics at all. Luckily my family is like pretty similar with that stuff. But close friend, yeah, like close friends, I don't know. There's been some people that like I had to kind of distance myself from a little bit because I'm like, ooh, like that was a really weird take. I feel like a lot of people's true colors showed back in 2020. You know, I remember 2020, like the 2020 election between Biden and Trump, and then there was like the you know, like the BLM protests and everything, like COVID and, you know, everything that was going on. Like a lot of people kind of showed their true colors during that time, and it'd be kind of like, you know, like look at people kind of sideways.
And group, you should keep your political opinion to yourself.
Yeah. Dogs shouldn't be able to just go on public sidewalks.
More public spaces should be kid-free, like restaurants, etc. Just 18 plus.
What
you got against dogs?
do you hate about kids?
They can be chaotic, running around, screaming.
You shouldn't have to ask for ketchup when you're at McDonald's. They'll drive away and then I'll realize I don't have any ketchup. I can't turn around not in traffic, you know what I mean?
Who's getting ketchup at McDonald's? You're getting sweet and sour sauce, barbecue sauce, or buffalo sauce. Who's using ketchup at McDonald's? Y'all using ketchup at McDonald's?
I think that having a higher degree means that you're successful. Oftentimes that doesn't really get you anywhere.
Not paying your rent isn't really that bad because it's just a pain in the ass to get evicted anyways. You can skip a couple months.
Have you ever missed your rent?
Yeah, it's worked out.
You're chilling.
Yeah.
On that line, property is theft.
I think Plan B should be free.
On side note, property is theft. Just immediate, just like any moment that you could just add in your little Marxist views, just add that in. Yeah, a little side note. I'm a communist. Don't clip that.
I just don't think that homeless people should be blamed for being homeless. It's like the city's fault.
Girls and guys can be friends.
The state of Israel should not exist. Period, point blank.
And why do you think it should not exist?
The creation of Israel was illegal to begin with. I mean, the UN and Britain decided that. Not really a fair shake. Also, the Palestinians were one of the only countries that was allowing Jewish refugees post-Holocaust into their country en masse. They were housing them, feeding them. They turned on them. And if Palestine is the land where Judaism originated, then how dare you? Because they are your people.
I think that... Yeah, that was the first one that I feel like is like genuinely a hot take. Like that's definitely a very contested idea. And I think she said a lot of very true things too. I wouldn't go as far as to say that the state of Israel shouldn't exist, because like, what are you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, just like completely dismantle it now? Like, I don't think you can get to the point of like unrecognizing it. But it's like, I feel like you have to. I feel like there's definitely a conversation to be had about like what's going on over there and how they got there in the first place. Yeah, let's not get too much into that in this stream, but I'm definitely hearing what she's saying.
Hot dogs are sandwiches, because if you think about like a sandwich, it's just bread, meat, and then bread, and then a hot dog. What's hot dog? Bread, meat, and more bread.
Hot dog is a sandwich. I'm gonna get into that take. I think a hot dog is a sandwich.
We are 1/3 of the way there, and I'm pretty curious to see how the voting segment is going to turn out. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's head to the mall to ask more people. What is your most controversial opinion?
I love that my phone listens to me, because then I don't have to try and remember to look up certain things. It just sends me ads. I'm not important enough.
Nothing to hide.
Nothing to hide, so I'm like, sure, help me out.
Trump is an idiot.
Tipping culture is a bit out of hand. A lot of places it's expected, and the behavior to earn these tips is like not even granted. Sometimes I don't even know my waiter's name and they ask for a tip.
I don't believe that there's God at all.
We pay a lot of taxes here in Toronto, and
y'all think that's a hot take to like say you don't believe in God? I feel like it's not that hot of a take, like personally, but like in one of my philosophy classes I said that like, oh, like, you know, talking about religion isn't as heated of a discussion as it used to be, and like everybody disagreed with me. Do you guys think that it's like very hard to like talk about like politics, not politics, like religion? Do you guys think that's like still very contested? It's got to be like the whatever part of the country you're living in, right? I guess when if you're in the U.S. I know you guys aren't you know, I know not all of you guys are in the United States, right? But I feel like in the part that I'm in, it's not that like it's very common that I'll run into someone who also is like is like not very like religious. Like I'm not really religious personally, but it's like I feel like it would be sensitive in America. Yeah, see, I think it just depends. It just depends because I also live in a blue state, right? So it's like by blue state I mean like it's like majority Democratic, so they're a little bit more like liberal progressive over here. But if I were in the middle of like, I don't know, like Tennessee, right? Like they're probably going to be a little more religious. Oklahoma is a good example. Like they're really religious over in Oklahoma. And I would imagine that if I went up to the average person and started talking about religion and you know talking badly about Christianity, probably wouldn't go so well. But over here, it's like not as bad in most circles.
I don't think we're getting our return on what we pay.
Girls playing boy sports. I think like girls can play any sport.
What kind of sport would be an example?
Football. Maybe that's why they invented rugby.
Do more girls play rugby?
I believe so. But that's not fair. See, we should get to play football.
In a relationship,
hot. Yeah, I think that's a bit of a hot take. I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's just a bad take. The reason why women's sports isn't popular is because I would say that there's definitely a case to be made that like they were sort of like barred from like getting involved in the sports. I feel like there's like I feel like there's like a cause and then it's like there's like two parts to it where it's like women historically haven't been involved in sports, and so they're getting into sports slowly over time, and so it's going to take time for them to get like accustomed to getting into sports, and not as many women play sports. But not as many women play sports probably because they were barred from getting into sports. So it's like it's sort of like a cycle, you know what I mean? But then the problem with them getting into sports now is that it's like the process is still being slowed because everything's about money. Where it's like, you know, like the WNBA, for example, is like the best example where it's like it's probably the most popular like medium of women's sports. Probably aside from like maybe like female UFC fighters, like I would say, right? It's probably like WNBA, like on a large scale, like that's probably the most watched sport that involves females, besides maybe the Olympics. But even that, it's like those women are making peanuts compared to the average NBA player, right? And it's like they want more money from it, but the problem with that is that they don't pull as much views, therefore they don't get as much revenue, therefore they can't like the money isn't there. You know what I mean? Like they're not bringing enough viewership in to like warrant that type of money, which is unfortunate. But it's sort of like it's a product of the cycles that have, you know, the powers that be, the cycles that have created this circumstance in the first place. You know, you can call it patriarchy, you can call it, you know, the system, whatever you want to call it. But it's like a cycle, you know what I mean? And I would like to see that change, of course. But, you know, I guess part of that is more women have to be involved in wanting to make that happen as well. More women don't really watch sports as much as men. So it's like if more women watch sports, then maybe we can see more, you know, female-only sports that women are watching. But if men are watching sports, men want to watch men play sports for whatever reason. So I don't know. There's a little bit of that's long conversation to be had there. But I definitely I hear where she's coming from.
the men have to pay more than a girl. I think like 90%.
90% men pay.
Yeah.
Messi and Ronaldo. I love Ronaldo because he have a lot of aura.
Well, I'm currently in a debate with someone about wrap pizzas.
Wrap pizzas?
Yes, instead of having like dough as the base, you have like a wrap, like a tortilla wrap.
And you like this?
Yeah, it's delicious. And then you put corn on it. I'm so sorry, I know.
I'm worried the right wing is taking over.
We should be putting spikes on the road to reduce the number of cars.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that one.
You agree?
Yeah, why not?
Just spikes all over the road.
For the greater good.
pineapple is good on pizza.
GPA does kind of matter in school.
Misogyny is probably more ingrained into society than we think it is. A lot of girls, for example, are less likely to pursue math, not because they're not good at it or like they're not sort of like naturally inclined. It's just because the way that girls are socialized, it's like we have a hard time excelling in subjects like that because we're not encouraged to try again if we fail at something. If men fail at something, they are more likely to sort of pick themselves back up and like try again.
What is your most controversial opinion?
Okay, I think that school should be optional for people who truly want to go.
What level of school?
High school should be optional for people who really, really want to.
What about you?
I think that vote.
Atrocious take. Terrible take. High school should definitely not be optional. I like high school. People coming out of high school, like I just finished my first like year of college, and as a 22-year-old being with a bunch of freshmen, we're all freshmen. High school, like people even getting out of high school are idiots. Like I don't really think that, respectfully, I don't really think that I don't really think that making high school optional is a good idea. Especially since it's free, in most places, right? High school's free. I think that there's still more education. I'm not saying that you need to have even more education, but like I don't really think that less education is gonna solve any of the problems of humanity right now.
Voting should kind of be the same way because I think that if we let younger people who want to vote, then maybe we would have a more willing society.
You would say lower the voting age.
I would say like you should be able to apply to vote at a younger age.
I'm not a big Donald Trump fan.
I'm not sure if we should lower the voting age. I'm not gonna lie. I think that what is the age, right? Because like anything lower than 18 is like 18, the average 18-year-old I know laughs at 6-7 jokes, right? Like, and I'm not saying like that isn't like that's such like it's sort of like a bad argument to make, like, oh, because people find this joke that I find funny, then they shouldn't vote. No, it's like 18-year-olds are already immature. I'm not saying that they shouldn't have the right to vote, but it's like there's already sort of like a line there. When you start to go lower, it's like we're getting into like shaky territory. Can you imagine like a 16-year-old voting? Because like young people are already so malleable to propaganda and just like ideologies and everything like that. They can get completely absorbed into these ideas so quickly, and I feel like if you were to give them the power to vote, it would just make everything even more chaotic, like on the political scale than it is now. I think that the voting definitely needs a reform, and I think that the democratic process in the United States needs definitely a reform. But I don't think that lowering the voting age is the way to do it. I feel like only people who want to lower the voting age are under 18. Yeah, I imagine you're not gonna see people who are like over the age of like 25 agreeing with that take, because like you're like you start to realize more about like life. Like at 18, you don't have a whole bunch of life experience. Now, every individual is going to have their own amount of life experience, but just like living in the real world outside of school, it changes your political opinion just a little bit, right? Because things affect you more. So it's like obviously people under the age of 18 who want to vote are going to say, I want to be able to vote. I probably thought the same thing back in like in the 2020 election. I was under 18, and I remember like I was like, oh, like I wish I could vote right now, but I didn't because I couldn't, right? And it's like my political opinion then was probably the same as it is now. Like generally, like I probably would have voted for, like when I look back on it, like I probably would have voted for the same person, but I don't know. I wanted to say under 21. What do you mean, like under 21? Yeah, the voting age here in the United States is 18. Once you're 18, you can apply to vote. But yeah, if you're like even 21, like I'm not saying people at 18, disclaimer, I'm not saying people who are 18 shouldn't be able to vote, but I think that like 18 is already pushing it for the level of intelligence that people can actually use to like make a sound political decision, right?
Overpaying taxes, the younger generations can't afford a home. So there's something wrong with the system that we live in, right? I have a home, I'm a homeowner, and it's still very difficult.
I don't think I can remember if I ever had one.
Nothing at all?
Nothing. Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
There should be more done for disabled people and wheelchair users to get around the city.
You would like it to be easier?
Yes, very much so.
Bulbasaur as my starter.
So you would pick Bulbasaur?
Yeah.
What do you like about Bulbasaur so much?
You got that bulb. You got that sword. You be soaring.
Anything else?
You got that vine whip.
Affordability crises are not something that we can overlook.
Pineapple belongs on pizza. That the world is getting better.
Why do you think the world is getting better?
There's innovation happening, and with AI, things are going to become more efficient. I just think the world is getting better.
Terrible take. Absolutely terrible take. The world is definitely not getting better. That's just untrue. I think it's bad to like wallow in like negativity and say that everything's just getting worse. It's not a very good way to like live through life. You want to have hope. But to say that things are getting better right now is just like, you got to be like so far disconnected. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't want to make assumption about this person, but I would guess that by just judging by her take on AI and judging like about in her opinions on how the world is going, she probably isn't affected by like any of the negative things that are actually happening to real people right now. I think that it's a privileged take to be able to say that like things are getting better. They're not, for like the majority of people, right? Inside and outside of the United States. There's a whole war going on for goodness sake, right? Like things are not getting better. Things are actively getting worse. I think that we have to recognize that for them to get better.
No matter what. We just have to wait like a few thousand years probably.
Hey, you dropped
Sorry,
this.
thank you.
No worries, perfect. Okay, thank you so much.
You have so many different religions telling you a lot about different parts of your prayer and how things supposed to go in life.
You believe in only one religion?
Yeah, only one.
And which religion is that?
The real one, nice religion.
Some people shouldn't be allowed to fly. They don't know airplane etiquette. Only go up when your zone is cold. Don't stand up immediately. Put your personal item under the bin unless there's space above, that kind of thing.
I'm not happy with the way President Trump runs his state, whatever.
I really don't have any. I'm just happy to be here, happy to be sitting next to you.
I don't think it's controversial though, is it? Because
no, I just said I don't have any, big head.
Listen, I said I'm not happy with Mr. Trump.
Okay, that's good. That's good for you.
Is it controversial that?
That bike lane should be controversial. Like the fact.
Why'd that guy take it so personally? Why'd he get so hot-headed so quickly? Are they friends? Like, I'm confused. Like, what was the problem there? He just said what he needed to say, and then he was like, I don't want to say anything, and then immediately got heated.
The fact that we're talking about tearing it up still, like, is insane.
Criminals should be held more accountable for their actions.
I don't love tipping culture.
I feel like people in this world, they try to say LeBron's the GOAT, they say LeBron's the best to ever do it, but then they haven't seen me.
Why aren't you in the league?
Humble.
What is your most controversial opinion?
I don't think we should give good customer service to people who are...
I've seen enough. Put him in. Put him in, coach.
Just really bad to you. Like they're like super rude.
So you should be able to ignore them, fight them, just like a 1-2, like a quick.
So let's settle it in the fitting rooms, you know?
More privacy.
Exactly. And the other customers don't need to see nothing.
And which store do you work at? Which location? On that note, it was time to head to the third and final location. What is your...
Ooh, we're gonna get some bad takes here. Whenever you see someone lining up, like, you see someone do like interviews at like a nightclub, outside of a nightclub or a bar or anything like that, you know you're gonna get like just the wildest takes possible, like whether they're talking about dating or anything. And I don't know whether it's like people are like already drunk coming in or just whatever. People seem to just lose brain cells at night.
Your most controversial opinion?
That Michael Jackson is still alive.
Why do you think he's still alive?
I believe it in my heart.
He's dead. He's gone.
And he had like a closed casket. I think it's also just because I want him to be alive because I love him.
What are your thoughts about the kid stuff?
I don't think he did it. I think he's innocent.
Just go with the flow, regardless for themselves. I know it's really complicated. It's just ups and downs. Just go with the flow.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yo, that was kind of sick. How he was doing. How did he do that?
Shawarma is the best food ever.
Men should always pay on all dates.
Do you think men should pay 100% of the time?
I think yes, because they are providing.
It's always what is it about like nightlife women having this take that they always want to say that men should pay for every single date? Why is there always every single one of these videos that I see, there's always one that'll not one or two, one, two or three that'll say men should pay for everything on the first date. Is it really that common for like men to not pay on the first date? First off, and second off, is it really that hard to just split a bill, like in 2026 in the big 26? Right? What's up, water bottle boy? In the big 26, is it really that hard to just pay? I mean, personally, like if I'm taking a girl on a date that I just met, like I'm gonna pay. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, it's just like, because I'm probably the one who invited on the date. But like, what is up with all these entitled people thinking that that men have to pay for everything on the first date? I don't really think that's good to go into it with that mindset. You know what I mean?
If he doesn't have money, he should not have a relationship.
Sadism is underrated. Everyone has a point in their life where they have to realize sadness is part of the life and they have to deal with it no matter what.
Like, you know how right
I don't really, that's not what sadism is.
now we eat like 5 times a day? That's actually us being a cactus in a rainforest. If you think about it from like evolutionary biology perspective, we could go like days without our next meal.
So do you think more people should be fasting?
100%.
The healthcare industry isn't made for women.
I'm from Ukraine, right? I don't support Russia in any sense or Russian people in any sense. I hate everything about that.
Kids is a choice. I've chosen not to.
That we don't treat life as it should be.
How do you think we should be treating life?
People like to complicate shit. Pardon my French. We like to complicate it. Life is so simple. We don't need to worry about a 9-to-5 schedule, about do I need this or do I want that? It doesn't matter about that. It's just
first date, men has to.
You can't just go through life not caring about things. I don't really like when people say that. That's my take here. I don't really like when people say like, oh, like just go with the flow, just live life, yada yada yada. It's just like, again, it's just like life is hard. Like you can't just, yeah, exactly, yeah, right. Just be, yeah, exactly. Thank you. Be ignorant, guys. Just ignore the pain. Just act like, you know, like your world's just falling down around you. Just act like it's fine. Everything's okay. Everything's okay because I'm at peace. Nothing can go inside of this bubble because I refuse to let it. Right? It's just like that's not how things work. You know what I mean? Like you still, like you can, I understand, like I think there's definitely some wisdom to it where it's like be in the present moment and don't live with anxiety and don't live with like depression. Don't bring, you know, past pain into the now and leave like and don't bring like future pain into the now. Like I get that, you know, and I preach that myself. But like to say that like you can just go through all of your life and just say life is simple. Life is definitely not simple. Life is not simple. Life is very difficult. It can be very rewarding, you know, but life is very difficult and very, very not simple for a majority of people.
I don't know if this first pick for the Leafs is going to change anything next year.
I think gambling supports positive mental health.
I think that humans should die. We're really bad for the
Spoken like a true addict.
planet. We're the most selfish creatures to ever exist. If you look at dinosaurs, you watch a dinosaur documentary, they've been around for billions and billions of years. They've come back bigger. Humans have been here for not even a fraction of the time, and we're destroying each other. We're cruel to each other. We're mean to each other. We want to like get rid of each other, and we should just all die for the planet.
For the planet.
For the planet.
So this is like, that's like sort of like the extinctionist philosophy, right? Where there's actually a pretty decent amount of people who think that the human race should just like cease to exist. Like we should, I don't think that they, excuse me, I don't think that they think we should just go around killing everybody. But I think that they genuinely think that the world would be better off without humans. I definitely hear that. But also it's a very, I feel like you have to, it's like a prerequisite of like nihilism. Yeah, it is a very edgy thing to say. I feel like humans are a little bit obsessed with survival, and what scares me is how conscious humans are in such a short amount of time of being alive, where it's like humans have, like she made a good point about how like dinosaurs were around for like billions of years, right? Not billions of years, literally, no, millions of years. A billion years ago, but like, I think the average span of an animal species throughout history being alive is like 2 million years. I think that an animal on average will be alive for 2 million years, and then it'll eventually like die out somehow. It'll go extinct. Humans have been around for how long? Like the estimate is between like 100 and 250,000 years or so. The Homo sapiens. And we're on track to like become extinct like way shorter than that. Like if we, you know, continue destroying the planet, if we have nuclear war or something like that, like we're probably not lasting 2 million years. If we keep on going at the rate that we're going. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't exist. Like I think that's a little bit far-fetched to say that.
Yo, I think peptides should be FDA approved and legal.
It's not all that great to own a home. Renting is way better.
Get rid of like the gentle parenting. Bring a little bit more discipline back. Kids aren't scared. They're entitled. Not that they have to be scared, don't get me wrong, but they have no respect anymore.
Drake is not that good. Drake is not. Oh. Sorry, Iceman dropped. Ooh. The album was mid. Maid of Honor was mid. Absolutely dog water.
Listen. Say what you want about Drake. That man drops banger after banger after banger. He has a pretty good ratio of like hits to misses. His ratio is like almost unmatched, right? Like I'm sorry, you know, say what you want about Drake, say that he's corny, say that he's cheesy, whatever you want to say. Drake has so many bangers. Like I wouldn't say that I listen to like Drake's like very new stuff. Like I don't think I've listened to anything off like the last like 2 albums, but dude, put on Scorpion, put on any song from Scorpion, the 2018 album, and I'm bumping that. I'm nonstop bumping that. Scorpion went crazy. Views was amazing. Yeah, More Life is amazing. Like if you're reading this, it's too late. Like that older Drake, not even super old, but just like most of like I'd say like the first half of his career, which is like amazing. I feel like anything past Certified Lover Boy is just like you kind of lost me there.
I'm Persian. I'm against the monarchy. I don't think it's good. A lot of people love it. I don't like it.
I feel like pandas are just polar bears in disguise.
So they're secretly polar bears.
Yeah.
So how did they become pandas, and why are they pandas?
I think like the government dyes them.
How did you first come to this conclusion?
Deep dive on Reddit. McDonald's is overrated.
I mean this like from a good place in my heart, bringing back masculinity. I feel like men can provide for women. I'm like, if they just do that more, it'll make women want to be not out at the club and instead like at home with you and everything like that.
This guy looks like he just came from the club. This guy looks like he just came from the club, or he's out. This is nightlife. Like he's out and about, but he doesn't want his girl to be out and about like he is right now. I'm sorry, but I really hate this like red pill bro nonsense, dude. Like they want women to be like completely submissive and just like listen to them and listen to everything that they do, and they can go around and do the exact same things that they slander women for doing. It just doesn't make any sense.
What is your most controversial opinion?
No, I'm kidding. That men's voices aren't low anymore.
My most controversial opinion is I think truck drivers are compensating with their truck.
Passion fruit, you only like passion fruit? That's a lie. That's a lie. If you like passion fruit, I could probably find like 10 more Drake songs that you would absolutely love just based on passion fruit alone. Because that's one of his songs where it's like it's like perfect club music. It's like perfect dance music. You're just like, you can just vibe to it, you know? but there's so many other songs that have that same type of vibe. I can't really think of them off the top of my head, but like I guarantee you like more than just passion fruit.
Trucks because they're compensating for something else.
Men don't have the capacity to not be lustful.
So you think all men are lustful?
Yes.
I don't like sushi.
I don't like sushi either.
You're Asian and you don't like sushi.
Well, I'm Chinese. I don't really like peanut butter. It gives me a headache.
We should teach religion in schools.
And what about you?
I guess.
So also teaching religion in school.
That Daenerys.
No. I think that's a bad idea. No. Let's not do that.
Targaryen is the prince that was promised, and it's not Jon Snow, and you can't convince me that it's Jon Snow.
Not Jon Snow.
I don't like Chipotle.
What about you?
I don't think you should drink on random days. You should only drink if you're like getting drunk. Why are you drinking otherwise? Like that's a waste of money.
And before I knew it, I was at 99 opinions with one more to go. What is your most
Yeah, I think that I'm respectfully, Gus, I don't know. I disagree with that. I feel like you can have a good moral foundation without being indoctrinated into religion. I feel like, and even if you're agnostic, like I hear a lot of agnostic people say that like they see the value in religion having like a good moral function and that like it helps people decipher, between like what's right and wrong. But it's like look at like the 10 Commandments. It's like anybody can look at the 10 Commandments and be like, oh yeah, like that makes sense. Like I could have figured that out without having to read the 10 Commandments, right? Like I don't really think that we need to like teach people to fear God in order to tell them to not steal or to not lie. Like I don't think that you need the fear of a deity sending you to eternal hellfire for you to like not want to steal or to not just like lie or hurt anybody's feelings or something. I think it's a little bit overkill. Yeah, I think how you use religion. Well, it's like but that's the thing though, is that it's like there's a conversation of like, is the religion true? Because it's like, I'm not religious, right? So it's like I can't make myself, even if I did believe that religion gave kids a good moral foundation, I don't think it would be really weird and dishonest to raise my children into a religion just because I think that it has a good moral foundation. Like it's like a weird thing to do because first off, because you can't make yourself believe. But I guess I can put on an act and say for my kids, like, oh, like this religion is good. This is like this is why you shouldn't do this. But that's just weird. Like you're in sort of like a predicament. Like how do you go about that? Yeah, I don't know. It's not authentic. Exactly. It's not authentic. And so it's like I feel like there's better ways to kind of go about it. I have a lot of opinions on religion, and I actually wanted to make some videos about it because I previously was very religious, and I'm not now, for a lot of the reasons, for a lot of reasons. But I'm at the point where it's like I think that society is moving away from religion, and I think it's a good thing.
Controversial opinion.
I would say feminism.
What about feminism? Now that we have 100 controversial opinions, it's time to put them all on a board and ask 100 more people to vote to determine the most controversial one of them all. This is the board with all 100 opinions. Now let's go find 100 more people to vote. On this board, there are 100 controversial opinions. All I need you to do is pick which one you think is the most controversial.
Okay, maybe the only religion that exists is Christianity.
Yeah. Perfect. I think this one, yeah.
The world is
getting better, yeah.
Could you just make a small tally right under it?
Yeah.
Just to line up? Perfect.
You can't change your gender, it's very controversial.
Perfect.
In relationship, men should pay 90% of the time. Okay, that's controversial.
90% is too much, you think?
Yeah, it is too much. It's like,
we ain't got too much money out here. The first few people all picked different answers, but as I approached 25 votes...
Here's the thing, is that everyone's choosing what's controversial based on whether or not they agree with it. Because, like, obviously, like, if I agree with the take, I'm not going to, like, originally think it's controversial. But I feel like you have to sort of try to look past that and think, like, oh, like, is this actually controversial? Or do I just disagree with this personal stance, right? I don't feel like most people are just going to pick whatever thing that they disagree with the most, like, that, like, calls out to them.
One opinion was clearly standing out. So we have asked 25 people to vote so far, and right now, there is one opinion that is taking the lead. Bruh. I might need like more space for the tallies later on, but I guess we'll see.
Okay, oh my god, I would date a rapist. Yeah, that's crazy.
This is insane. I would date a rapist. This is the most controversial opinion I've ever seen. Dating a rapist is pretty bad.
Oh my god, really?
What do you mean really? Sorry.
We are halfway there. We have 50 votes total. Right now, there is one opinion that is taking the lead at 26 votes. Although one opinion was pulling far ahead in the votes, there was another opinion that surprisingly caught people's attention too. What do you dislike about fedora hats so much?
Just not a fan of how they look.
Who the hell's wearing?
I don't really think that's a real take though. Like, do you guys think that that this woman genuinely would date like someone who did that? Like, do you think that she would date a rapist? Like, I think she's lying. I think she just said that for the video. I think that's just, maybe it's just that outrageous of a take that I can't even believe it, right? But I don't think that she genuinely believes that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a scary one. I mean, fedora hats is up there though.
Yeah.
Fedora hats is very up there.
Fedora hats.
Oh my goodness, what did a fedora hat do to you? After 100 votes, the results were pretty one-sided. Surprisingly, people weren't a big fan of fedora hats for some reason.
Alright, it's a good video. This guy did a video on gaming takes. I actually watched this video. Then this guy had some absolutely atrocious takes. All right. Good video. Good video. Yeah, that was good video. Yeah, I don't think she was being honest there. Yeah, but pretty good video. I thought it was interesting. Because I like just hearing like what people have to say. I feel like a lot of those were not that controversial. What would you say is like, what is my most controversial take? What would be my most controversial take? It'd probably just be something like political, honestly. Like I have some pretty, yeah, people are just, they're gonna feel better. Yeah. What is my most controversial take? I don't even know. I don't want to say that I don't have controversial takes, because like obviously I think I'm right about everything I think, like most people do, but it's like to say that any of my takes are like very controversial. I mean, I'm pretty left leaning. Like I'm a pretty left leaning guy. Like I'm very anti-capitalism. It's probably like the most I could think of. Like I'm very anti-capitalist. I don't like this current state of capitalism. And I think when I say that, people think that I'm a communist. Like they immediately think, oh, you're against capitalism, that means you're a communist. Like no, like just because I don't subscribe to the capitalist ideology doesn't mean that I'm a communist. That's not how that works. Like I have the ability to independently think about these things, right? So it's like you can be anti-capitalist without being communist. People don't seem to understand that, so it ends up being this sort of like long conversation that I have to explain to people my political views. Judge Penitent by Albert Camus. Sure. Judge Pentinent like Albert Camus, right? Camus. Penitent. I spelled that so wrong. The Judge Penitent. Never heard of penitent before. The Judge Penitent, a central philosophical concept and persona created by Albert Camus in The Fall. Okay, I've heard of this book. It describes an individual who confesses his own guilt to everyone, not out of humility, but as a cynical strategy to manipulate and judge others. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. So it's like, just like, I think that people, my original thought was I do this, but I don't think that I do it like as a way to like, I don't know. I guess like I say things to sort of like kind of just like see how people are gonna react to the things that I say, but I'm not just making stuff up. You know what I mean? You think people are like saying things like wild just to confess their guilt, like not just to confess their guilt, but like to try to like what is the goal there? I gotta read more into it. By standing before others and aggressively admitting to their own flaws and sins first, the judge preemptively disarms their critics. No one is innocent, they say. I am terrible, but so are you. Therefore, no one has the... See, I hate stuff like that. That would actually kind of get me mad if someone said something like that to me. Where it's like you're like invalidating your own opinion and therefore invalidating everyone's opinion. Like I don't like that. Yeah. By acting as a repentant sinner, they seize the moral high ground and turn themselves into the ultimate judge of everyone else's morality. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't really like that. I can't really say I've experienced a whole bunch of that. But yeah, that's definitely an interesting concept. I really need to actually like read Camus. I've heard like so much about him like more recently. I feel like people are getting back into it. Yeah, I feel like this is like a deep topic that I'm not fully understanding. Maybe we'll have to watch this video by unsolicited advice at one point. Maybe I'll add that to the stream list. Let me just copy this stream. Wait, cancel. Copy link address. I'm gonna save that. Might actually watch that for a philosophy stream. This one wasn't really a philosophy stream per se, but yeah. What else? Okay. To the other few people that are watching, say something. Please, say something. Just so I know you exist and you're not a bot. That would be much appreciated. Also on Twitch. Go follow my Twitch. Because eventually I want to be able to just stream on Twitch. But I need to move my YouTube viewers over to Twitch. Yeah, it's a one-on-one combo. You should style your dreads like Sasuke. Bro, yeah, I've seen people do that. And it's like, I don't know why, but I just absolutely suck at styling my dreads. I feel like my hair is like super thick, like at the base of it. It's like super thick at the base of it. But then, so then when I try to like kind of like ball it up and like put it into like a ponytail, like even like a smaller one, it just doesn't work that well because it's so thick at the base that the band will go like farther up it. So then it just looks weird. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I think it only really works when I have like a fresh retwist, which is like, I'm long overdue for a retwist. It's been a long time. So I usually just either have my hair like literally just in my ponytail in the back, or I just let it just kind of hang. But most of the time I just have it back because it kind of is in the way most of the time. But I don't like it because it makes my forehead look really big. So, but I gotta give the Sasuke thing a try. Isn't just like kind of not that different from how I have it now. And when I would just like add like this, like I would just tie this up like this and have more hanging in the back. Yeah, no, I didn't really add anything productive to the Judge Penitent concept because I don't really fully understand it. And YouTube, the Google's like AI overview was buns. But yeah, we'll have to watch it. I actually was just saying that there's this video by what's his name? Unsolicited Advice, and he has a video about it, so we'll probably watch that in like a future like philosophy stream. Yeah, but the original plan was I was gonna watch a few more videos, but I'm not gonna stay on stream for too much longer since I wanted this to be like around like 2 hours long. So I think that, should I end stream now or should I play a game? Because I kind of want to play this game. I guess I can just yap about my plans for the streams because I want to stream like not every single day, but like a few days throughout the week. I was thinking like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Either Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like around this time, or Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. Take Tuesday off and do Wednesday, Thursday. Because I don't want to do Friday, Saturday because I'm just busy during that time. I don't want to do other things. But I really want to like get consistent and like actually like move on. What game? So there's this game. Well, there's a few different games. I'm on my Mac right now. So like I can only really play like games that are available on Mac. Because I don't have like a PC. I do have a PlayStation here, and I do want to get to the point of like streaming games and stuff. But the problem is that I don't have a Stream Deck. So like I need to get the Stream Deck so I can hook it up to my Mac, and then I can stream games like more detailed games. So that'll come like later on, and then I'll probably play like Rocket League, Fortnite, Assassin's Creed, Ghost of Tsushima, Minecraft. I could play Minecraft on here actually. I would probably have to buy it. But the idea is like I kind of just want to be able to just like throw on a game and just like talk about stuff. The game that I really wanted to play though is called Stick War. Y'all ever heard of Stick War? Hello? Stick War Legacy. What y'all know about Stick War Legacy? Hold on a second. I gotta change it. I gotta make it so that you guys can actually see my screen. Stick War Legacy screen capture. Y'all know about Stick War Legacy. Why is this music so loud? We're gonna turn off the music. Actually, no, we're turning off the music. Can I turn this down? If I turn down the output here, does it also turn it down for you guys? Like, is the music still super loud? Help me out here. You can't hear me anymore. What? What? You can't hear me? It says you can hear me. Put on a game and more chatters coming. Is the game still louder than my voice? Is the game still louder than my voice? Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to do this. Sorry, hold on. Now is it better? Like, it should be better now because I turned down the audio on the screen capture. You can probably still hear the game, but not as much. Yeah, okay, yeah, sorry. I'm like learning how to use OBS right now. So it's a work in progress. I appreciate you guys helping me though. You can turn it up a little bit? Yeah, I'll turn it up a little bit. Because the music in this game is actually kind of fire. So let me know if that audio level's good. It's great. It's great. Bird. Word. All right. I'll turn it down just a little bit more. All right. So yeah, this game. Let me tell you guys about Stick War Legacy. All right. Stick War Legacy. This is a strategy game. It's akin to something like maybe like Clash Royale. It's probably like the best way best thing I can compare it to. But it's just with sticks, and it's on like a horizontal playing field as opposed to like a vertical playing field. So you kind of go in and like you'll have to see. I'm gonna play it. So I'm gonna play the campaign, and I'm gonna play it on hard mode, and I'm probably gonna restart it. But there's different modes. So there's like the campaign version. There's missions. There's tournaments. I haven't played missions. This is new. This game's like over 10 years old though. It's like probably like 10, 15 years old. There's tournament mode. There's zombies. Y'all ever played like Call of Duty Zombies? This is basically just zombies. And then multiplayer. I also haven't played this. This is very new. So maybe we'll get to the point of playing this. And if I could play against you guys, that'll be sick too. But you can barely hear the music. Yeah, I mean, I turned it down a little bit. I'll turn it. Oh, I turned it like way down. My bad. Hello. I turned it like here. Is that good? Hopefully that's good. Sorry, I never really know. I think I can like. Yeah, that's good. Okay, weird. All right, so I'm gonna play this campaign. So I played it on normal, like the other day when I found it. I'm just gonna delete that. Delete. Whatever that is, delete. I'm gonna start a new campaign. I'm gonna show you guys this fire. We're gonna play it on hard.
This world is an illusion. In a world called Inamorta, you are surrounded by discriminate nations devoted to their individual technology and struggle for dominance. Each society has developed its own unique way to wage war. Proud of their unique craft, they have become obsessed to the point of worship, turning weapons to religion.
Better animation than Invincible, by the way.
Each believe that their way of life is the only way, and are dedicated to teaching their policies to all other nations through what their leaders claim as divine intervention, or as you will know it, war. The others are known as Archidons, the way of the archer. Sword Wrath, the way of the sword, Magi Kill, the way of the mage, and Speartons, the way of the spear.
We live as we dream. Alone.
You are the leader of the nation called Ordor. Your way is of peace and knowledge. Your people do not worship their
Uncovering the
weapons as
fallacies of
gods.
society, for real.
This makes you a mark for infiltration by the surrounding nations. Your only chance to defend is to attack first and obtain the technology from each nation along the way.
No gunlings? What do you mean by gunlings? What are gunlings? There's no guns in this game. Is that what you're asking? Alright, so we gotta beat the Archidons. This tribe of people they worship their bows. Their bows and arrows as their weapons. So I don't need the tutorial. So we're gonna train a miner. So here's how it works. So you get pots, you get like these gold things, and then you want to farm as much gold as possible, and then use that to train troops. So these are the clubmen, and then they cost like 125 gold. So I gotta use the miners to get as much gold as possible, and then train as many of them as possible, and then you can get more people, and just continue that basically. But if you click on these guys, they go faster. They move a lot faster. And then we train more. So the enemies are on this side doing the exact same thing, right? And then they're training their archers. So the goal of the game in general is to destroy this statue, and the enemy team is also trying to destroy our statue. And that's basically, yeah, you just keep doing that, and then it gets like progressively harder as the game goes on. So pretty much the plan now is kind of just like tycoon it, just like build my army as like large as possible. Army's growing quick, people. I say we invest in another miner. Yeah, it's got like a whole sack. I love the way that they move. It's like, I like it. I think it's a creative idea. They have like the whole bag of gold and stuff. But yeah, you can like move them around too, and like, you know, it's weird because I'm pretty sure you can like, yeah, you can also like fight back. So like you can move these guys anywhere, and then you can also like make them attack too. So like if an enemy team is like attacking them, you can like hit them with the little thing. But I think we have enough people to like attack these people now. But what's gonna happen is that if I go over there, I'm gonna kill these guys. Either I'm gonna kill them or they're gonna run back inside the fort, and then archers back here are gonna come out and then start shooting me, and then they're gonna call for reinforcements once I start destroying the statue. It's a little bit more predictable earlier on, but I have enough people to attack them, so we're gonna go for it. Attack. Yeah, see, then they start retreating. And they're gonna call for, yeah, reinforcements. Yeah, very predictable. Oh, wait a minute, I don't have enough. I'm just gonna kill all of their, sorry, miners. I'm sorry. It's beautiful, I know, it's amazing. Kill all of their miners so they can't get any more gold. That's kind of the strat. Yeah, so this mission is level 1, so it's like super easy, right? But it just gets harder and harder as the game goes on. And we're in hard mode, so we'll see how far I get. The problem is that at a certain point, this game becomes pay to win. That's the only like gripe I have with this game, is that it becomes pay to win at a certain point. Not like really, but like at certain like tournaments and stuff, it becomes like very, very hard to win without getting a bunch of gems. But I think for now, we're gonna upgrade the miner. So after each mission, you get 2 points, and you get to upgrade whatever you want. And then there's also like a shop full of things that we can do. So, but it costs a bunch of gems. Your army has been attacked by natives to this land. Reinforcements will arrive at sunset. Hang on until then. Alright. Yeah, I get it. They're gonna start attacking me, like, immediately. Yeah, see? And then I think the plan is I have to, like, try to...
Man the fort.
Yeah, I'm gonna... It's just an ambush, basically. Am I playing as a colonizers? Yeah, actually. Yeah. Yep. And basically, yeah. As the game goes on, you'll see that, yeah, basically I am. I'm no different than all these other guys. I'm just conquering land, basically. It's just war. Like, I'm just conquering land. That's kind of the goal of the game. I'm not the good guy by any means. I mean, yeah, like, I think we do it, like, you'll see, like, we eventually, like, liberate some people from, like, subjugation by the other places, but, like, we're still walking into these people's lands and killing them. So, but, whatever. Alright, that was good. Now we gotta go back out. More people, yay. Attack, attack, attack. These earlier missions are super easy. Even on hard mode, they're pretty easy. I have not played insane mode, I don't think. I think this is like the last wave that comes, and then I think we're good. Because I think it's until the sunset comes, and the sun's about to set. So.
Attack.
Word from our sponsors. No.
I used to be the worst artist in my
No.
class. This is terrible.
No.
Yeah, it was bad. So I downloaded
Skip. Close. I should pay for the ad-free version, huh? Message retracted. What happened? We're moving on. We're moving on. We're gonna play a few more, and then I'm gonna have to end stream. Do men with the clubs. So it's not like any individual person beats people. The shield and spear people, like, those were like, you'll see like the tribal people, they're a little bit weaker than the other people because they do have like the speartons. The speartons are built different. Like, they're way stronger than the people with swords. Those ones were not very strong because they're just like randoms. But you'll see, like, the speartons I think come after we beat these guys, and they're much harder to beat. I think a few speartons could probably take out like 3 of these clubmen. Like the base clubmen. But yeah, I think the strategy is kind of just like outnumber people sometimes, but then it's like depending on the type of troop that you're using, some things won't work. Where it's like if you have a bunch of these guys, if you have a bunch of these clubmen or even sword people, if you try to go against like you'll see later in the game, there's like giants. They can't really fight giants because the giant will like shockwave them away, so that you can't really get close enough. You have to have archers. Usually the best strat is to train as much archers as possible, but they take a little bit long to train. That's the only problem with archers. Not super long, but long enough where it makes a difference when you're actually like in the heat of battle, I guess. But I actually think I have enough to get ready to attack these guys. Is that Japan? No, it's not Japan. This is just like, I don't really think it says anything. It's just like random imaginary world. It's like not anything specific. It's supposed to be definitely based on like medieval times, like, you know, because they have like mages and stuff. Yeah, see, they're gonna call reinforcements. Watch, watch. And then that's when I go back. Oh, run, run, run! And I think they're just gonna immediately start attacking. I don't think they're gonna stand. Yeah, they're just gonna start attacking. Oh, never mind, they didn't. They didn't. Okay, okay, good, good, good. That's enough for me to build up an army. Should I push? Hey, thanks for stopping by, Gus. Appreciate having you here. Hopefully more people tune. But yeah, hopefully you can tune into the next ones. Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate it.
Attack.
Gonna head out after this mission. Yes, I have heard a lot about the myth of Sisyphus. I'm definitely gonna check out some of those videos. Probably like next stream or sometime after that. But yeah, after this game, I'm gonna be heading out to. I gotta read all these things. I gotta get up on my philosophy reading. Oh my God, they got murked. We just got murked. Oh my God, I'm losing this one. Gus, you distracted me. Okay, what if I like run out here? If I like run out here. Die. You good, you good, you good, you good. Oh. Ooh. Wait, no, we made a comeback, we made a comeback, we made a comeback. We're good. We're good, we're good. We made a comeback, we made a comeback. We're gonna win this one, we're gonna win this one. I gotta close it out with a win. Get him. Headshot. Boom. Destroy the statue. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. Destroy, destroy, destroy. Alright. Easy dubs. Easy dubs. Easy dubs. Easy dubs. Easy. Light work. Alright. The Sword Wrath have been pushed out of their homeland and fled for the hills. I doubt this is the last you'll see of them. Some slight foreshadowing there. But all right, that was a good stream. I'm gonna call it there. I'm not gonna play this entire game today, obviously. But you know, I'm gonna upload this as a VOD. So there's gonna be a VOD channel. Oh no, let's just close that out real quick. Sorry. Yeah, so there's gonna be a VOD channel. And I'm gonna like post like the full stream, so I don't want them on my main channel sucking up space. So yeah, if you guys want to go back and watch it, you can like go to my channel page and you'll see like Abraham VOD, and like it'll be there like probably sometime over the next like day or two or something like that. And I'll probably like split these up into individual clips as well each video. So yeah. Someone knocking on my window? Someone's knocking on my window. But all right, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate anyone who was here. And see ya.